Good morning, class.
Good morning.
All right, today again for math class, what we'll be learning about is about fraction. All right. What we have is a little video to kind of start us off and kind of look at what we're talking about with our fractions today.
One of the many cool things it can help us do. Let's explore. Before we get started, let's review what a fraction is. A fraction is part of a whole. That's right. In front of us are cakes. If I cut this one into 2 equal pieces, how can you represent one of these pieces as a fraction?
We can represent this piece as the fraction 1/2.
The number above a line in a fraction is called the numerator. It tells us how many parts we have.
And the number below the line in the fraction is called the denominator. It tells us how many parts are in the whole.
Excellent. Now, what if we cut this cake into 4 equal pieces?
Each of those pieces are now 1/4 of the whole cake.
That's right. How about if I cut this cake a few more times?
Now there are 8 equal pieces, and each piece is 1/8 of the cake.
And if I take 3 pieces for us, then the amount left is 5 out of 8 pieces, which can be represented as the fraction 5/8.
You got it. There's one more thing that we need to remember before we dive into the lesson. A number line.
A number line is a line that shows numbers in order.
That's right. And we can use a number line to help us learn about fractions. Let's see what half a cake looks like represented on the number line. But first, let's put whole numbers on the number line.
There is 1 cake, 2 cakes, 3 cakes, 4 cakes, and so on. So to represent part of 1 cake, we would show that between 0 and 1.
Exactly. If we want to show half a cake as a point on the number line, we can put it halfway between 0 and 1.
So that point represents 1 out of 2 parts. Then the next point on the line would represent 2 out of 2 parts.
And 2 out of 2 parts is the same as 1 whole cake.
Excellent. We can do the same thing with any fraction.
This is neat, but why do we need to know this?
Understanding fractions on a number line can help us make cool art, plan a trip, and even share a meal. Let's check out some examples.
All right, so just wanted to kick that up. Pretty interesting video that I came across to kind of get you more interested in how we use and what we can use fractions for. So today, our I can statement, our number talk starts with the numbers 4 over 3. 4 over 3. So just talking about that number, when we're considering 4 over 3, what is something unique about that number that we have? What is unique about that number? 4 over 3. What is unique about that number, 4 over 3? William. The denominator is less than the numerator. All right, so if we were to look at that number, so we have 4 over 3. And William said the denominator is less than the numerator. We know the numerator is on top, the number's up. So what is there some information that we've been learning to tell us what's going on with this fraction? Katie. Yes. So if the numerator is bigger than the denominator, we already have a whole. Great start off. Alright. So that representation. Alright. And what else about this number? What else with the information we can get from this number? What does that 3 tell us? The denominator. What does the 3, which is the denominator, what does that tell us? Yes, Kate. That there is 3 parts. Alright. So in essence, both of these rectangles were divided into 3 parts. And since we already have one whole, we know this whole 3 parts was shaded, which represents one whole. Should be writing. And then we have one more to equal 4, to total out to 4 parts that are shaded. Alright? So that would be written over one whole. We have one left, or 2, one shaded for this next part, which would be 1 over 3 parts that would total separation parts that we have to separate it into, that we separated this triangle into. Alright, let's do another one. We have 1 2/3. Now I'm gonna do a number line. We have 1 and 2. Why do you think I started off with a 1 and measured my line to 2, Juliet? Something about this number here.
Oh, the one outside the...
Alright. It is the one outside the number, Jeffrey.
It's a hole?
It's a whole. And since we already have one whole, we know we can start over here because it's going to be greater than 0 to 1. Okay? Since we already have a whole, we can start off with 1. There's something, once I draw my line, I drew my line. What is this middle area? Alia.
The middle area is the halfway mark on 1 and 2.
Alright, our halfway mark, or what is it called? Our what mark? You sit on these at the picnic
Our
table.
benchmark?
Benchmark, yes, or benchmark. Alright, so we still know that we're separating this into how many pieces based on this number?
What did you do?
We're separating these lines into how many parts? 3. Alright, so it's still section off, so by the time I get to 2, I have 3 even sections before I get to 2. Alright, so my 1 and 2/3, where do y'all think that would be on my line? This is 3 wholes, this is 2, this is 1. So where will my 2 and 2/3 be? My 1 and 2/3 be? Yes, sir.
Between 1 and 2 thirds.
Alright, it's 1 and 2/3, so where am I gonna land at? Right on what? 2/3, yes. So it'd be right here. So this would be my 1 2/3. Great job on that, y'all. Great job on that. Alright. My essential question, the one I want y'all to think about, alright, is what strategies help us compare and order fractions? What strategies, y'all can write that down. Write that down. Write that down. What strategies help us compare and order fractions accurately? Alright, and we're gonna talk about honing in because making a number line is a strategy. Using a benchmark is a strategy. Using tiles are a strategy. Jeffrey. Mm-hmm. Just sit in between the rules, don't sit on them. Alright, everybody got that written down? Alright. So y'all have been doing really well with the comparative fractions. I think y'all should all give yourselves more credit than what you probably have been giving yourself. The idea is that I want y'all to start really practicing because we're going to start getting to adding and subtracting, multiplying and dividing. Right? But the greatest thing right now is to make sure you have solid which one is greater than and which one is less than and how they can be equal to, or what do we call it when the fractions are equal to? Ali.
Equivalent.
Equivalent. Alright, and our I can statement that goes along with that is I can compare. And what do we do when we compare something? What do we do when we compare something? Okay. See what's similar or different? Alright. And order fractions. So what's some fractions that I have? William, what's a fraction we've been working with? 1/2. 1/2. Dylan, give me another fraction. 2/3. And give me another fraction. Jeffrey. 1/3. Jeffrey, which one did you say? 1/3. Alright, and we're actually gonna order these, and I can order these real quick because, alright, we have a halfway mark on a number line with 1/3 come before 2/3. Yes. Alright, so you know 1/3 becomes before 2/3. Where do you think our halfway mark would be? After one, in between 1 and 2/3, or after 2/3, or before? When? In between. 2 3/3, so our halfway mark. Alright, so again, ordering fractions, another way that we're gonna see greater than, less than, or equal to. So again, we use the symbols as another way, a strategy. Greater than, less than, or equal to. And remember, the gator's mouth is open into your body, that's the greater than. Gator's mouth is away from your body, that's less than, or you have the concept of equal to. Alright, so again, our number talk, real quick. Thing about this, again, we covered this, I'll go over this real quick. Let me know you're thinking, hand to the chest, everybody show me. Thumb up, I'm trying to figure out the strategy. Thumb and your pointer finger, I have 2 strategies, and hallelujah sign, I agree. Alright, our number stands. My solution is, the strategy I used was, I agree with blank because, and that would be, I agree with Johnny because, how did you decide to? My strategy is different because blank, I saw it a different way because my strategy is similar because, could you explain that in a different way? Alright. So we have been comparing and order fractions by using representations. Purpose today, we are going to order fractions by reasoning about the size of the fraction using benchmark fractions to help. Right? And what's our benchmark fraction?
Halfway mark.
Our halfway mark. Alright. Or we can use 1 1/2. Or, so if we're going to 2, we can use 1 1/2. Alright. But you'll see how we do that today. Alright. Again, I want y'all to write this in y'all notebook. The number on top tells us how many of those, well, first, number on the bottom is, again, how many parts the number is divided into. The number on the bottom is how many parts the number is divided into. Alright? And again, we said that established, if we have 4, how many parts do we have? 4. And say the number on top is the same. So this is the number on top of us, how many of, the number on top tells us how many of those parts we have. So how many parts do we have in this particular?
4.
So that would be considered what? It's 4 parts, and then we have a total of 4. We divide it into 4. That can also be seen as 4 over 4, which is what? What can 4 over 4 also be? This line didn't show up. If I have 4 over 4, what is that? Also a what? You got 4 divided parts, and I got 4 of those parts shaded. So I got 4 parts shaded. What would that be considered? Think, how many times is 4 going to 4?
4.
How many times is 4?
2.
How many times does 4 go into 4? 1. So it is also equal to 1 whole. Alright? So I grasp that concept. If I had 3/4, how many of the boxes would I have shaded? 3. Alright. And the first part of that is what's considered a unit fraction. And what it is 1 4, 1 4, 1 4, and 1 4. Alright? And since we've kind of discussed this, since we have the denominator that is the same on the bottom, Dylan, you watching? And since the denominator is the same, if I were to add those up, what do I get? If I were to add those up, what do I get? 1 4 plus 1 4 plus 1 4 plus 1 4. Alright, but what do I get if I get 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1? 4. Alright. Again, when my denominator is the same, I can just add my numerator. Y'all make sure y'all write that note. So if I was to decompose it, my example would be a unit fraction, which is my 1 4, is a single fraction part of a whole. It's part of this 1 4 is part of this whole. Alright, because it's 4 total pieces. So a unit fraction is a single fraction part of a whole, and it has a numerator of 1. All of these have a numerator of 1, or fraction tiles. So these are all part of a whole. Other than our actual whole piece, all of these down here from half all the way down to 1/16 are a unit fraction. So it's part of the whole. And each one tells us how many we need. If I have half, show it. How many more do I need to make a whole? If I have a half, how many more pieces do I need to make a whole?
2.
How many more pieces do I need? If I have a half, how many more pieces do I need to make a whole?
1 more.
1. If I have 3 pieces, how many more pieces, Xander, do I need to make a whole? I'm sorry, if I have 1/3, how many more pieces do I need to make a whole?
2.
If I have 4 pieces, Jason, how many more pieces do I need to make a whole?
3.
3. Alright. So again, this is your unit fraction that's part of a whole. And based on how many, what's the number in the denominator, tells us how many parts we're separating that whole into. Alright. So the example right here is 1/2, 1/4, and 1/6. Alright, so in our lesson, the Fisher family wanted to see how far they could jump. Each family jumped 3 times. Here are the mom's jumps. Order the jumps from shortest to least using comparison sentence. So, what I do first is, what I can do is use my halfway mark, right? So I have, one thing I noticed, I have 5 in each of these particular jumps. You always jump 5, at least 5 feet, all right? Then I use my benchmark, which is my halfway mark, to show, all right, is 3/4 greater than half or less than half? Well, 3/4, I know it is count into 4 pieces because of the denominator. I know my 4/4 is a whole. So half of that would be actually 2/4. So I know 3/4 would actually be greater than 1/2. Do that on my number line. I have 0, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4. And my 3/4 is above my half mark, because this is my half. Next one. I'm gonna go down to the 5 and 5/6. Alright, 5 and 5, 6. Again, I do my number line. I make my mark. I do my line. And I can see that 5, 6. I know 6, 6 is my whole of this line. And I know 3, 6 will be the halfway mark, which is over here. But I have 5, 6, so that's over half. So I know that 5, 6 is greater than my half. And then I can see that 5 12s. If I have 5 12s, my whole line is 12 out of 12. I know 6 12s is half of that. So I can see that my 5 12s is less than half. So already starting off, I know that my shortest jump from mom is going to be 5 12s. 5 and 5 12s, I'm sorry. Then I look at my 5 6 and my 3 4ths, and I'll see that 3 4ths was further out than my 5 6. Well, I'm sorry, shorter than my 5 6. So 5 12 is less than 5 and 3 4ths, and then my 5 and 5 6 was the longest jump that the mother made. Alright, for the rest of the time, y'all are going to attack this number and write this in your composition book. So brother jumped 7 and 2/3, 7 and 11 12ths, and 7 and 5 6. I'll give y'all about 4 minutes to accomplish that. Y'all can use your partner to execute this before we talk it over together. You got questions there? Sir, if you don't got a fever or something, you're not gonna send you home for your later. Ali,
Can we use those?
yes, you can use the practice towel. What do you mean, what kind of test you have? Yeah. Yes. Have y'all been practicing with something? We'll do a little practice that much. Alright.
Yeah, I didn't get to. I had to leave it because from longest to shortest. We're ordering them in order from longest to shortest. Yeah, so you're flipping it top small.
So one thing about this number,
Longest.
what would be my
shortest,
waterfall? What are my
You can
benchmark
use
numbers?
comparison.
Because I start off with 7 feet. What are my benchmark numbers? What are my measurement in between? It starts off with 7 feet. What are my measurement between? It's 7 feet. So what is my measurement between? One more up. 7 and what? 7 and 8.
Sorry, Lena. Doing longest to shortest, so it's 7 and 2/3, and then
7 and 11.
Hey, would you mind moving, baby girl? I can't see. Thank you so much. I just couldn't see the chart. 7 and 5, 6, no. So yesterday, so the first thing we're always gonna look at, first off,
You
we
need
have
one
to
more.
head. We're doing it from biggest to smallest.
Yeah.
So, our unless some of these fractions are equal, which we don't know. Alright. So, the first thing we're gonna do is look at,
Alright, waterfall, waterfall.
so we'll take
Alright.
Johnny.
You have 1 more minute.
You wanna hang out over here, Johnny? Pay attention?
Go ahead, Jimmy.
It's 16, 17. We can make some.
No? Alright, cool. Yeah, Jeffrey, you can come. Just stand over there. You said you didn't want to come. Jeffrey asked, and I said yes.
Here, Kate.
Where's your journal? Okay.
Which one are there?
So we're still using half for the other district, right? Well, I can already tell you that. Right.
Because you need what? You need 3 parts. You got 3 parts. So you gotta have 3.
So first thing we gotta do is.
So again, what is the numbers
Numbers
between?
are the same. Now you gotta think about, well, which one is the
So
closest?
7.
The strategy that I like to use the best is you're either gonna draw a rectangle first,
7 and 8.
and it's equal length,
You only need 1
or
whole.
you're going to
Alright, so
draw a
how
number.
many
It doesn't
thirds?
matter. So the first one, I'm going to split it into thirds, right? I'm going to eyeball it. I'm gonna say this is a third, and this is another third. I have
Waterfall,
1/3,
waterfall.
2/3, 3/3.
All y'all at the magnet board, come sit. Leah, Dylan,
Color
Leah.
it in because that's
Come
7
sit.
and 2
Hurry up,
thirds, right?
hurry up.
Okay, next
Waterfall, waterfall,
fraction,
hurry
I'm
up.
gonna
Let's go,
split it
let's
into
go, let's go.
12. Very good, so that's,
Quickly, quickly. Come
I'm
sit,
gonna draw
come
half
sit.
first, because I'm half under. Then
Alright.
I'm gonna split this
So,
into 6
You ready with your
This
pencil?
first.
So again, I want you to understand, the key here is, since she jumped 7 feet, we're not just starting off at 0 like we've been doing. Okay, alright, we're not having to start off at 0 to 1, because we already jumped 7 feet. Correct? Alright, so we're now in between 7 and 8.
5, 6. I'm splitting it
Alright.
into how many people?
So still using our fractions because we're just further out down our measuring
Middle first, and then
line,
worry about
alright?
splitting this
We're
into
further out because we've actually have a full 7 feet that we've gone. We can still use our fraction tiles though to see how many we have of each. So we have 2/3 with Summer and Ollie we're working on. We have 11 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
12 is greater than what?
And then we have 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so looking at
Which one was
these,
that?
which would be the shortest jump?
7.
We're trying-
Greater than.
This, huh?
I really like.
I'm gonna write it right there.
Sure.
What would be the shortest jump?
But the only thing is that we have to make sure that all the
Use the 7. 7, Jason.
these have to be equal.
7 and what? Which one? Yes, that would be our shortest jump. What would be our next longest jump? Mhm.
7 and 11, 12.
Is 11, 12 look like it's shorter than 5, 6?
The paper says it's from shortest to longest.
7 and 5, 6.
Just flip them. So this
And then what's,
statement is correct.
then what's next then? What's the final
If you were
one?
to write it.
7 and what?
Shortest to longest. You would have to flip these fractions. It would be, first it would be 7 and 2/3 first. It's less than
7 and 11, 12.
7 and 5, 6. And then it's less than
Alright.
11.
So again, 7 and 2/3 7 and 5, 6. 3, 4, 5. And then 7 and 11, 12. Alright. So one thing I want y'all to go back, we use the number tiles, but what I want y'all to see is the concept of where our halfway mark was for each. Alright? So 1/3 and 2/3 is sometimes a little hard to see, but you can see basically by the fraction tile. It's 1 whole third and then half of that next one. 3/6 is pretty easy because we know half of 3/6 is a half. And then 11/12 comes out to be 6. We know half of 12 is 6, which that 6/12 will be half. So our 11/12 is greater than our half. If we had this out here, 11/12 would be greater than. The 5/6 would be greater than half. And the 2/3 would be greater than half. Alright, so our benchmark at half kind of helped us out, but since we're past that half mark for each one, can we go into knowing which one is the greatest based on the denominator? Alright, on a 3x5 card, you're gonna tell me 3 fractions that are more than 1 whole, but less than 1 1/2. 3 fractions that are equal to 1 whole, 1/2, I'm sorry. 3 fractions that are equal to 1/2, and then 3 fractions that are greater than 1 1/2. Alright, and justify your thinking. Alright. Your yes. Alright, and once you're finished your exit ticket, you can just pass me it. Make sure you write your name on the back of it, or write your name on it. You're gonna find out 3 fractions that are more than 1 whole, but less than 1/2. More than 1 whole, but less than 1/2. You can hit, in the head, you can use the fraction sign. I'll give y'all another close to 5 minutes for this. Then we're going to the You're writing 3 fractions that are more than 1 whole but less than 1/2. More than 1 whole but less than 1/2. Alright? More than 1 whole but less than 1/2. 3 fractions that are equal to 1/2. Y'all focus? More than 1 whole, less than 1/2.
More than 1 whole.
Equal to One.
So that means the number, the whole number, we have already established that.
Less than
1 and 1/4, right off the bat. Less than 1/4. Good.
More than a whole.
So
More than this.
So on your notepad, I want you to write.
More than one whole. But less than one half. So it could be more than one whole. Less than one half.
Like, why can't we get a
This is what I'm gonna write on your notepad. When you write on the board. Let me get my eraser.
So what's the right?
Put your name on it. And then on your notepad. So it's more than one whole. You're trying to find the middle, but it's less than one half. That's how it should be. This number, wait, hold on. There we go. Reverse it. Because it's more than one whole. This number is more than one whole, but it's also less than one half. So, yeah, wrong direction. And then you're gonna put 1, 2,
Y'all keep doing that.
3. Right,
More than one whole, less than
already
one
right
half.
off the bat. Okay. I know what fraction.
That's one.
Right off the bat, what do you think?
So this is your whole.
1,
So what's that?
one of them. Give me another one.
1 and there you go.
That's greater.
Mm-mm.
Done.
That's less than one half.
You think 1
Done.
is less than one half? Let's draw.
Come around there.
Just to double check. I'm gonna draw 1/4. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just want to double check myself. So here's half. I'm gonna do
Alright, so what's the number?
1/3, 2/3, that's 1/3, and then we're doing 4.
Yep.
1, 2. Alright, so is 1/3 less than one
Come
half?
over here and look.
Yes, is 1/4 less than one half? Yep, good job. So 1 and 1/3 is your next one. Alright, give me another one.
So
1 and 1/6. That was easy, right?
more than one whole.
Good job.
So just think about all these being whole. All this over here is a whole. More than one whole, less than one half. So what's your first one? That's less than a half. More than one whole.
And then we gotta do, on the other side of your card, you're going to say fractions that are equal to 1 and 1/2. I'm assuming that that's
Yeah, I'm probably gonna come back on right.
equal to 1/2.
You're playing
This is so easy.
Don't hold the paper
You're gonna find 3 fractions that are equal to 1/2. 1 and 1/2.
Alright, if you did that here, 3 by 5, then you do activity.
Oh, you want another one?
Actually, we're gonna use that activity that already passed out. The one already passed
First think of 1. No. Think of 1 with the denominator. What's that? 2. There you go, bam. Next one, think of with the denominator. 3.
If you get your 3 that are less than, after you get your 3 that are less than, then you're looking for equal
All
to.
you gotta do is just think of another number.
After you get your 3 that are less than, then you're looking at equal to.
Odd number. Because if it's an odd number, you can't find the solution.
That's
It's
gonna
gotta
be
be
one.
an even number.
Remember, 1 and 1/2.
Well, that's
Yeah,
true,
that's
that's
equal
even
to.
5/10. No, but 10 is a, even number, the denominator is even. I'm saying the denominator.
What's equal to 1/2?
Can I help y'all? Yes. Okay.
This less than? Then we need greater than. Last one. Last one will be greater than 1 and 1/2.
Okay. So you need another card? You need another card. Okay, equal. We're doing the equal card. 1 and 1/2.
Is equal to 1 and 1. Yeah, but I want you to challenge yourself. Don't use that one.
Together? Like, don't turn that in. Keep them together and then turn
How many of these? Well, let's think. What fractions give you halves? What fractions give you exact halves? Or one? Okay. That's one. So what is?
Yeah, we're not waste paper. No, we're just gonna do hold on.
So that's 1 and how many thirds?
Where you been, girlfriend?
No. 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I don't know. Count this as 1.
Oh, 1. 1
That's
third.
not true. Who told you to do that? Where you been?
1 and
Where you been?
1 and
count
2
these two.
thirds.
Yes. You're only counting these two, so you're making a whole out there. That's great. See? If it's further out, that means it's greater.
One more quiz. Four. I don't know.
Waterfall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7.
All right. All right, we have to get to the next class session, so I want you to go ahead and start cleaning up. So just be sure, keep your paperwork. Don't move. Don't move. Waterfall. Don't move. Just be sure to keep your papers with you. Give me so far what you got of that exit ticket, and I'll give you the activity to do for homework, and you'll come back and just look at that tomorrow. Waterfall. Dylan, what was my direction? What was my direction? Bring me your papers. Everybody stop. Waterfall. Bring me what you have done of your exit ticket. I will give you the activity, and we'll transition over to science. Thank you for
As
your,
far as us three go.
y'all can bring it up here. I like my toes.